My name is Jeff, and today I will be talking about the 2021 film Candyman, directed by Nia DaCosta, which stars Yahya Abdul Mateen II and Teyonah Parris. Before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and give this video a huge thumbs up. The film Candyman takes place in a now gentrified Chicago in which a struggling artist discovers the legend of the hook-handed serial killer Candyman and gets into a little bit more trouble than he probably anticipated when he decides to use the legend as the source of inspiration for his latest art gallery. What he doesn't know, though, is that by doing this, he's unraveling something that's been dormant for a while. The cinematography for this film was not necessarily my favorite. There were some great aspects. So let's start with the pros. The pros are I really liked the puppeteering that they used to tell the legend. So every time that they talked about the legend of Candyman or the legend of, Virginia Madsen's character Helen in the original, they used these little puppets to basically depict the legend. And I thought that was very clever. It was very nice. It was very well done. However, overall, I felt like the way that this film was shot was a little odd. It was very choppy. There were several scenes where I just would have edited, and not that I'm an editing expert, but I feel like I would have edited it a little differently. Like, for example, there was this scene where there were these victims who were about to be killed, and then they kept cutting back and forth between their bodies being discovered and them being murdered. And I just felt like it kind of threw you off the moment, especially when those victims were the first ones killed in the film. I also thought that the death scenes in this film weren't all that great. I don't think that they were memorable. And then most of them were off screen. So to me, that was very disappointing. As someone who, watches a horror film, I mean, that's kind of what you go for, right? Especially if it's a slasher film. And when most of these deaths take place off screen, I feel like it kind of kills the moment. So if I would have changed anything, I would have definitely shown more of that as opposed to just showing like a small glimpse. Don't get me wrong, there were some very creepy scenes in this film, but overall, I don't think that it was all that scary. I think it's more just the myth of the film that is great. And I think what makes the original film so much better is the fact that they they lead you up to this suspense. Like, is he real? Is he not real? Is Helen, the protagonist from the first film, just kind of losing her mind? Is she just getting too caught up into this whole legend and myth, or is it real? And in this film, we don't really have that. It just kind of goes straight into it. And I guess there's been several sequels, which I haven't watched, honestly. I've only seen the first one. And I know that this film's a sequel, it's not a remake, but I didn't really like the approach that they took for this film. I think that Teyonah Parris did a great job as a supporting character, and Yahya Abdul Mateen, he did a good job as well. I just felt like it wasn't them. I felt like the script could have been a lot better. The kills in this film could have been a lot more creative. There were a couple of random scenes in this film. Like, I felt like there was this scene where this random girl, they show like a death scene at a high school, which was completely random, had nothing to do with the other characters. There was just like one character that happened to be at the art gallery, and just out of nowhere they just show you their death scene, and it was just completely random. Perhaps the best part of the film and the creepiest part was the ending, where I won't give you spoilers, but there's a surprise cameo at the end, and that that gave me chills. I thought that was creepy. And again, I've only seen the first film, so I don't really know all that much about, this character. But I did think that that ending was very chilling. I know that Jordan Peele was behind this film, and he was involved with Get Out and Us. And I believe that he wrote the screenplay for this, if I'm not mistaken. I really like that there are more stories with Black characters being told, especially in the horror community, because I love horror. That's my favorite genre of film, and I definitely am interested in seeing more of these stories. I just felt like this one kind of missed the mark a little bit. It could have been a lot better. It's not a bad film by any means. I just felt like it was just okay. It was mediocre. I don't think that there was anything too memorable about it. The story at times was a little a little confusing. It didn't captivate me as well as it could have. Overall, I think that this film was okay. Like, I think it was a film that you should watch just to check out, but it's most likely a one-timer. I wouldn't watch this film again unless if it was like on TV or something. And for that reason, I have to give Candyman a 7 out of 10 stars. I really love the storytelling in terms of how they told the legend and using the little puppets, but overall, I felt like the story was lacking. And the performances could have been a little bit stronger. I don't think that it was their fault necessarily. I felt like they could have just fleshed out the characters in the script. I think that the script needed some help, and then the directing wasn't my favorite either. So maybe if they would have chosen a different director, that could have also helped. So basically, long story short, I feel like this film was missing a lot. What did you guys think of Candyman? Do you feel like this film kind of suffered from the same thing that the Nightmare on Elm Street film suffered from, the remake? Robert Englund, he plays Freddy Krueger, so Tony Todd plays Candyman. Do you think that it's too big of a role? They're too big of shoes to fill? Please let me know in the comment section below, and let me know what you think of this film. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on the next review.